All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to What Penny's Saying. Me and my son still here in the house chilling. You know, he sleep right now, but he right there with me. So, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to What Penny's Saying. You know, before I start these videos, I like to tell you that I don't like to waste your time because I know your time is precious to you as it is to me. So go get you a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a cool beverage of your choosing. Sit down for a few minutes and watch and listen to What Penny's Saying. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Like, comment, and share. Please watch this entire video in its entirety. You might miss something. You might learn something. So, since it's Valentine's week, I decided I gave you 7 for the men 2 weeks ago, 7 for the ladies last week. This week, I'm giving 7 for the couples out there. And it's called the What No Man or Woman Can Render Asunder series. And yes, men and women, we can mess each other's stuff up, but don't let nobody mess up your good thing. You hear me? So here we go. I'm gonna give you an equation for the next video. This is an equation. It's a simple equation. So the name of this video is you plus me equals we. You plus me equals we. You know, and this might be a common theme throughout this thing, but you know, God loves marriage, but He honors relationships. God loves marriage, but He honors relationships. God is big on relationships, man. God loves relationships, and He respects relationships. So when I talk about what no man or woman can render asunder, talking about the relationship between individuals, right? Couples, you know, whether your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whether you going into engagement, whether you're going into marriage, whatever, what have you. You plus me equals we. It's gonna be two of you, and you're gonna be two different people, and you have got to understand and know that despite your differences, you still fit like this. See, that's the common goal of the relationships. You're trying to get to this, to where you're lockstep in union together, and nobody can come in and break that thing up. And you got to safeguard against people trying to break up your stuff. Now, granted, everybody ain't trying to break your stuff up, but if you give them the opportunity, if you crack open that door, somebody will kick it open. So you plus me equals we. And that word "we" has so many meanings, so many things that it can be represented. But when I say you plus me equals we, I'm talking about two people becoming one. You know, a union. And I'm going to talk more about union later on. But a union, there are going to be times when you don't see eye to eye, but you have an understanding. You see, relationships are built on so many things: trust, respect, love, understanding. You got to have all this stuff to become we. Two becoming one. Two people becoming one. And on this Valentine's week, you know, some people form their relationships around Valentine's Day. Some people enhance their relationships around Valentine's Day. And then some people end their relationships around Valentine's Day, depending on whether you got something or not. And hey, it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. But you plus me equals we. You know, I can only speak about, you know, going on that first date with my wife, and you know, the feeling that I felt, and the level of familiarity, even though we had only been, you know, at that point, when we went on that first date, we had really only been talking for 5 days. I'm talking about talking Facebook. We hadn't even seen each other face to face. So a span of 5 days happened, and we go on the first date, and the level of familiarity on our first date was mind blowing to me. And I knew after that first date, after I drove home and dropped her off, after I kept asking God, did I just meet my wife? Did I just meet my wife? Did I just meet my wife? I asked him that all the way home. I knew when my head hit the pillow that night, I knew I was going to do everything in my power so that that woman would become my wife. At that moment, I knew I loved her enough that she was going to become my wife. At that point, I knew that it was no longer me, it was going to be we. At that point, that early on into our relationship, that early on, and that was 12 years ago. Well, it'd be 12 years in June. But anyway, I knew then that it was no longer me, it was going to be we. Because I wanted to go through that journey with her. I wanted to live the rest of my life with her. And when you have that feeling, and when you have that thing built up in you, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure it's you plus me equals we. We started making decisions together. We started doing things together. See, that's what it's about. See, this is together. But when your togetherness starts to splinter, and it can splinter due to a lot of things. But it mostly splinters because of, let me tell you something. Let me be perfectly honest with you. Relationships end because of feelings, y'all. Let me tell you, because of feelings, how you feel about things. So if you start a relationship with someone and it's going great, and then you begin feeling like they don't respect you anymore, you begin feeling like you can't trust them, trust me, that thing is going to start to splinter. Also too, when you start you got to keep everything in house. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna talk about that a little later, but I'm gonna touch on it very briefly. When you don't keep things in house and things get out, because like I tell my wife all the time, I tell her, I say, hey, I know there's a line of guys waiting to get with you, waiting for me to mess up, and vice versa. And it's not to scare her. It's not to say we ain't gonna make it, because I don't like to enter into nothing thinking I ain't gonna make it. That's defeatist mentality, and I'm not a person that's easily defeated. I don't like to lose. But when you begin to let outside forces into your relationship, and it begins to crack, then that equation goes from being where you all were one, you go back to being two. And when even though you are two people and you are different people, you have different thoughts, different emotions, but when you come together for a common goal, for a common understanding, for a level of unity, because that's what a relationship is. One thing with boyfriend and girlfriend, being engaged is another level, but being married is a union. It's a union where you become one, and God honors that oneness. He respects that oneness. It's the hallmark of a relationship, that oneness, one singular goal, one singular focus. And when you lose that in a relationship, you lose everything. Now, can you get it back? Sure. It takes a little work, takes a little elbow grease, but you can get that back. But I say to you, that equation, you plus me equals we, it takes understanding, it takes love, it takes trust. It takes work. Listen, anything you want in this life that you really want, it's going to take a little bit of work. That goes for relationships as well. Relationships take work because think about it. You entering into this thing with somebody that can be totally different for you. Yes, they say opposites attract. But the thing about it is, are you making each other better? Are you looking at her faults? See, her faults and your strengths could help one another, and vice versa. Your strength could be her fault. Your fault could be her strength. And when you match those things up and you begin to help one another, and it also helps, here's another helpful thing, it also helps that when you have a fault, that you make sure you make the effort to at least appear that you're working on the fault. Don't be, I will keep this strictly for the men right here. Don't be somebody who loves to flirt, and then you get a relationship and you still flirt. You don't make the effort to stop flirting because flirting makes her feel a certain way. Because, listen, and women, you know what I'm talking about. When a woman feels like she your one and only, she want to feel like she your one and only. So don't be out there flirting. Now, you have to understand, and I hope men and women hope you understand this, that as lovely as your wife is or your girlfriend is, as handsome as your husband or your man is, there are other handsome men out there. There are other beautiful women out there. You have to acknowledge that. Don't be stupid now. You have to acknowledge that. But you also understand that no matter how handsome that man is or how beautiful and gorgeous that young lady is, they can't hold a candle to what you got. And that's also part of you plus me equals we. Yeah, I can acknowledge there are other beautiful women out there. They ain't Gail. Sorry, y'all, you're the women out there. There's no disrespect to you. But you have to understand, y'all beautiful out there. Y'all gorgeous and all that. Y'all get dressed up and you look great. You ain't Gail. You ain't my wife. Yeah, I put her on that pedestal because she's there. And she can't be knocked off unless I'm dumb enough to knock her off. That's a part of you plus me equals we. Make sure you're putting your significant other up there, but also understand that they also have to earn that. They have to earn that title. And when they earn it, you give it to them. It stays forever. Hey, feelings are a big thing. You plus me equals we. Feelings are a big thing. It wrecks relationships. Feelings, man. So you better make sure you're in tune with your significant other's feelings, how they feel about things. Because that you plus me equals we, that equation can get broken up over feelings quickly. Don't get that twisted. So just want to give you that little equation. You plus me equals we. There you have it. Feelings, man. Big stuff. They may seem small. And if you don't talk about it, those small feelings grow into big feelings. And big feelings, that's when the carnage starts. So you plus me equals we. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.